Do you have a memory box? In the corner of my bedroom, on the bottom of a shelf, sits this box. It's a box of memories. Some aren't even my own memories. Cards from when I was born, from my aunts, uncles, grandparents, family, friends, and then cards from christenings, graduations, a letter from a friend back when people wrote letters. A few years ago, I was searching through a closet in my parents' house. It had served many purposes over the years. I don't even remember what I was looking for or what I would have found in it. But in it, I found a box all the way hidden in the back. Inside, it was stuffed with cards from when I had surgery when I was 7 years old. I was born with a cleft lip and palate, and I estimate this was at least my 7th surgery. My classmates had taken some time to draw pictures with crayons and markers, and I can imagine myself opening that box of cards a few days after surgery, when I was tired, sore, and hungry for foods I wasn't allowed to eat, and knowing that they cared and that they missed me. Elementary school was pretty good, like most kids. Middle school and high school can be a little bit rougher. And my memories of my classmates were tainted by those years. But that box of cards made me rethink them. Even 20 years later, I could feel the time and the care that they put into making those cards for me. But what if there was no one to send cards? 2 years ago, I went to Kenya with Smile Train. The first home we visited was of 8-year-old Phyllis. Like me, Phyllis was born with a cleft lip and palate, and her parents didn't know until she was born. She also was not able to be breastfed. My parents used a syringe to feed me. Hers used a spoon to feed her watered-down formula. About halfway through the visit, somebody asked Phyllis's parents how their families reacted to Phyllis's clefts. There was a long, awkward pause as the parents started to tear up. They only were able to shake their heads to let us know that they were no longer in their lives. When I came back from Kenya, I knew I needed to do more. As a writer, though, I needed some time to process what I had witnessed. So I told my story and the stories from Kenya. The father who didn't think he could love his cleft-affected baby, but learned to. Or 16-year-old Damaris, who climbed uphill 2 hours to take a bus to a hospital where a doctor she had never met before would perform her first surgery. She now wants to be a beautician. The more I told my stories, the more people wanted to learn about the birth defect impacting 1 in 700 births. That's one child every 3 seconds. I told people about my own 25 surgeries. They thought a cleft was fixed when you were a baby, and doctors tried to. But it doesn't always last a lifetime. 9 of my surgeries were in my 30s. I had braces twice. I was in speech therapy through high school, and I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the lucky ones. With time, I started to imagine a book. And so I wrote about a little boy having surgery, nervous about the surgery, worried that he was going to be missed at school and forgotten. That book encourages children to write cards for other children having a cleft surgery. Some of those cards came with me to Vietnam. At the National Hospital, we met families that were having or about to have a cleft surgery. The youngest was 3 months old. The oldest was a mother having her own cleft revision. I handed each family a card, reading the inscription, "Feel better," in very bad Vietnamese. They would look at the cards curiously at first, and then they would smile. Really smile. As I walked around the room, I noticed them looking at the cards. The hearts and flowers in those cards were in the universal language of love. That night, I sent pictures home to the organizer who made that possible, and there was no emoji that was needed to let me know that she was crying back at home. Happy tears this time. So there is something that you can do to help. Take a few minutes with your family or a community group and write cards for kids having a cleft surgery. Send them off to a local, national, or global organization to distribute. Become a part of their community. Let them know that they are seen and cared for. Stuff their box of memories with love. This may seem like a small gesture, but as Mother Teresa reminded us, we ourselves see what we are doing as just a drop in the ocean. But the ocean would be less because of that missing drop. Thank you.